Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com, the new direct purchase inquiry line to me and my crew from you with your questions about purchasing this or any other watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews. tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. And today we are discussing the Bethune for everyone from Bethune of L'Auberçon, a complete manufactured product from one of the most vertically integrated and R&D intensive independents in the business. Founded in 2002, Bethune makes only 150 watches per year under the aegis of watchmaking maestro and scientist Denis Flageolet, and this DB25 Automatic is one of the most wearable, versatile, and beautifully understated of Bethune products. Now you can see 40 millimeters in rose gold. This is not quite the DB28 for which the company is known, nor is it as large or extroverted as the DB28, a watch that screams, "I am an alien from the future," and a rich alien at that. This watch is graceful, understated, and can fly below the radar as well as below the cuff when you wish it to. A watch that's delightfully only 9.6 millimeters thick despite automatic winding and a 6-day power reserve. From lug to lug it spans 47.5 millimeters, so it'll fit well on a small wrist. It has a broad and contemporary 22 millimeter span between the lugs, so it has a nice planted stance on the wrist, and I'll show you what that stance looks like right now. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see the watch wears easily, and it has plenty of clearance on both sides. So if you have a smaller wrist, say as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, maybe you can't wear the DB28 even on the short optional lugs. Well, this DB25 40 millimeters is going to be just the watch for you. And as you can see, it wears well on my wrist. I can recommend it for that 13.5 centimeter circumference wrist looking for high horology in a more wearable package. Now the timepiece incorporates a branded factory strap, which you can see is black, large rectangular scale. It's a matte finish. It's a sheer-sided construction showing you the layers, and then it's a monotone stitch, so black stitch on black leather. Turn it over, and as with FP Journe and some Chopard LUC or LU Chopard products, there's gator on the underside to small scale, so a bit softer alligator leather. But the reason there's gator on both sides is because being much tougher than the calfskin usually used on the underside of straps, the gator allows the strap to last longer. This is a new Bethune factory strap, and as you can see, it has not been gouged or perforated or crimped. You will have that privilege, and you will do that with this lovely Bethune branded rose gold pin buckle with a handsome elliptical profile. Now rolling over to the case flank, you can see a accent that has been present on most Bethune watches since the very first DB1 chronograph of 2002. You can see that little ogival or bullet-shaped end profile to the lug. The rest of the lug is like an extended trapeze, broad, sprawling, as you can see, satin finished internally, polished externally, and evacuated to create a gossamer grace. It has an evanescent, shrinking presence, and as you can see, the lugs act as accents rather than dominant features of the case. The case is defined by its large double knurled crown with a little bit of a recessed profile and a domed cap, and then the strong horizontals formed by the gadroons of the case, that is, the little ripples in the case flank, as well as the junction of the bezel and the case back with the mid-case. The lugs have a wonderful break with the case, and as you can see, they are modular as they stick out as separate components from the case profile. The bezel is domed and shallow, and the dial is minimalist. This is not quite as extravagant as your typical Bethune timepiece. Instead, you have a universally appealing set of blue-printed calibrations, minutes outboard with a railroad track and Arabic numerals, and then inboard you have radially arrayed blue stylized Roman numerals, note the watchmaker's 4 right there, printed in blue, of course, with a vaulted arc that traces the flow of the inner bezel. You can see Bethune branding and modified skeletonized and fire-blued brigade hands. Now there's a billowing rose lathe guilloche pattern at center that radiates out from the cannon pinion where the hands are joined, and then when you turn the watch over you see manufacturer automatic winding caliber 2024. Automatic winding, 6-day power reserve, twin mainspring barrels. It features a beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour, 30 meters water resistant. It's not a aquatic sports watch, but it is a very tough watch, as it features 2 unique shock protection systems, both patented. You can see there is a triple parachute shock protection system for the balance, a metal spring flanking each side, holding it in place, and then you can see there's Inca block for the balance staff, making that very shock tolerant. There's also a patented system, patented back in 2006, that braces the rotor at its center with little jewels included on the bracing springs to avoid stiction or drag when the rotor comes in contact with the jewels. So you have shock protection for both the balance, the edge of the balance bridge, and I should say a third factor even, the rotor itself. Note how large the rotor it is. with a titanium center, and then the mass located in a recess at the edge of the movement to create a maximum polar moment and winding efficiency. Now you have a proprietary balance which is shaped like a cross. It's not circular, it's like two yokes that have been superimposed 90 degrees opposed. And so you have an outer white gold mass and then a blue titanium arm to maximize the moment. So even though it is a massive balance with all its mass on the edge, it's still beaten away at a high beat modern rate. Now they have their own escape wheel in silicon to reduce friction. That's patented too. They have their own flat hairspring that gives you the concentric beating of an overcoil without the shock vulnerability of an overcoil. And yes, that hairspring is also patented. No brand spends more on research and development for its size and overall budget than does Bethune of Lauberson, a truly rare and exquisite watch suitable for any wrist. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for details on this DB25 Automatic.